While our rotten discovery in the bilge was a bit disheartening, we found, as with many things in sailing, we were actually pretty lucky. Turns out, with our mast in this condition, our boat had endured some of the heaviest forces she has ever seen. We started out kiting. This was part one of what we still refer to as the epic day. The winds were predicted to blow in the morning and lay down in the afternoon, so we started the day out by trying to put some smaller canvas in the sky. But we were still facing two forces of nature. Yep, jellyfish. And get this.
Because I had a little friend out here. He's about a 4-foot shark. He was
Yeah, he said shark. Needless to say, we didn't stay long. But we saw rain coming anyway on the horizon, so we knew we wanted to get back to the boat, hunker down and let that pass before we sailed out that afternoon in what was supposed to be decent winds. We had about a 5-hour sail home across the bay, and we were expecting winds of 10 to 15. What it turned into was 15 to 20, then 20 to 25 and building, right on the nose. We put out the tiniest sliver of Jenny, reefed to the max, and just kept tacking. We were doing all right at first. It was rough, but manageable. You could definitely tell we were heeled over, though. Check out my foul weather jacket swinging out of the shower locker. And while that looks pretty intense, wait until you hear it.
Hello. I'm going to give you a little taste of what it's like down here. Down below. What it sounds like. Just listen. Sounds like it's falling apart.
All the more reason to stay topside in heavy weather, but it still looks pretty bad out there too. As if we hadn't had enough thrown at us that day, while we were bashing our way through the channel, flying just a beach towel, this happens.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we get pulled over by the Coast Guard. Apparently, we look pretty threatening making 3 knots under a reefed Jenny. But I get it, they were just doing their job. We were thankfully able to show them our life preservers and our paperwork and get them off our back before it was time to tack again. Like I said, it was rough, but still pretty manageable with the reefed Jenny. Then we heard this loud pop. All of a sudden, our entire 135 Jenny came thundering out. I really thought we'd blown a shroud. There was just so much force on the mast with the entire Jenny out. But when I went topside to investigate, this is what I found. Yep, our Jenny furling line had exploded. There's the rest of her. The lesson here? Check your chafe points when you're heavily reefed. We believe she was rubbing on the opening of the drum, and it eventually cut through. With no way to furler and not enough engine power to fight the wind in the sea state, We knew we were just going to have to sail her in, pull Jenny out, and drop her the old-fashioned way when we got to the marina. Yeah, real fun. But I did mention the shrouds. Why are we worried about the shrouds? You may not believe me when I tell you this, but the rod rigging on our boat is 32 years old. It's definitely one of the things we worry about the most, and that's definitely one of the reasons the re-rig was top on our list this winter. Considering what we'd sailed through, it wasn't too much trouble to drop and flake the Jenny and have our trusty local rigger, Rick Zern, with Zern Rigging, put us a new furling line in. While we didn't expect to have to replace any of the running rigging so soon, when we pulled the furling line out of the drum and saw the condition she was in, it was probably time. It really surprised us when we discovered, a few weeks later, the rotten stringer under our mast, what she had been able to stand up to with a full headsail out in 30-knot winds. It's amazing how often when you find damage on your boat, it can be so frustrating at first, but more often than not, you find out later how lucky you were to have caught it when you did. We sure were proud of our boat, and we sure are ready to get her fixed. It won't be long now. We'll be pulling that mast, hacking that rod out, and she'll be right as rain. Curious about cruising? Get inspired and get on board. Go to HaveWindWillTravel.com and follow us on YouTube, Patreon, Facebook, or the blog. We love to hear from followers. Reach out to us and let us send you free, cool stuff.
Watch your kite.
I got the kite. Am I going to be showing?
Nope.
Okay.
They're looking great.
Woo-hoo.
Let's get it rolled up before it rains on it again.